I've never done whole hearts.
Like they take little tiny pieces.
There won't even be a scar.
I think I found the problem.
Oh, come on, you're the doctor.
Everyone, lights out and quiet.
Hello and welcome to the Media Morgue, where movies come to be examined, chopped, screwed, double toasted, fisted, double fisted.
Cleveland steamers.
Yeah. This is as you can hear, this is not Justin. I am your sit-in host, Johnny Sins.
I am Danny D.
And
This is a porn special.
Today, yeah, we're doing. The other guys said they don't watch pornography, and they said the two porn experts need to do this episode.
They don't want to condone the porn media.
Yeah. They said it's not real film, and they won't agree to do this. But
subject matter is everything.
Yeah.
Make a good movie with unethical subjects. Everyone knows that.
So today we're going to be discussing the two A24 porn films, X, which just came out by
This
Ty
is
West.
the duology. That's crazy. These are their two porn movies.
Yeah, so far.
X and Red Rocket.
So X and Red Rocket. We'll be talking about those two movies. But before the reviews, let's go to the news. We got some video game news today.
Trilogy of game news pieces.
Yeah, which is crazy. We never have like more than one game news piece.
I don't think we cover games really that much at all. But here we go.
But a lot of these games have intersections with movies, which is important.
So that's our first news piece. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I don't think we discussed the trailer. I don't think there's any need to.
What are we discussing?
Yeah, he fights a big robot, and that's the big.
The coolest thing about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 apparently is that Knuckles is the temporary antagonist in the movie until he's not.
Was it a meme that he's voiced by Idris Elba?
Yes.
Keep in mind, I could look this up.
Idris Elba was like, I'm going to try not to be sexy in this movie, was actually what he said.
Wait, he is in it?
Yes, he's playing Knuckles.
Okay.
He's playing Knuckles.
I thought that was a meme.
No, it sounds like a thing that would be
crazy.
a meme. It sounds like something that would be a meme.
Chris Pratt as Mario sounded like he was a meme.
Yeah, but Idris Elba as Knuckles at least makes sense, I guess, if I was a studio exec. I'd go, yeah, sure, Idris Elba. But, like, Chris Pratt as Mario.
I see him as, like, a surfer bro. Knuckles. Doesn't he have one of those like California like stoner guy?
Does he?
Like one of those? Doesn't he? I mean, I don't know.
I feel like out of all the Sonic characters, Knuckles is the one most likely to be at the bottom of a skateboard.
Yeah.
So probably. I don't know. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is coming out. And
did you see the first one?
You bet I fucking didn't.
You did?
You bet I did it.
I saw it with two friends of mine, and we were being like rowdy. We were kind of lampooning like the Marvel Bros. You know what I mean? So like every little like game tie-in that we kind of vaguely knew, we'd be like, yeah! Like the after credits was Tails.
Yeah, I heard about this.
He helicopters with the tail on the frame, and we were like, yeah, fuck yeah!
Who's playing Tails? It's like also
no
a crazy. Just hold for me to research who's playing Tails.
It was really funny though.
It is. It's crazy that they assemble like big actors. Like Jim Carrey's playing Dr. Eggman and loves it. Yeah. He's like, I can't believe he's playing.
He's a lot of fun in the first one. They give him the big handlebar mustache at the end. I don't think they're ever going to make him fat, so he's not really going to be an
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who played Jazz in Danny Phantom. Is playing Tails.
Okay, well then I actually do love her.
Yeah, she's great. It's crazy. They have like Ben Schwartz as Sonic.
Really?
Yeah, Ben Schwartz as Sonic.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and Tika Sumpter is in these movies. Okay. James Marsden, a bunch of like big actors are in these.
Shamar Moore, who is that? I feel like I should know. Who
Shamar Moore he's a black actor.
Okay, well, cool.
Hey,
yeah.
It is. Hey.
But the tie-in here is we didn't. Well, I don't think we watched the trailer, so I can't really.
Well, I've seen the trailer for Sonic 2.
But the tie-in here is Sega seems to be releasing a promotional Xbox One X console in which here's the thing, the case for the console really cool. There's a big gold ring, very Sonic, very cool.
Yeah.
The controllers are like Furby, fucking just like Furby controllers. They're big and they're hairy.
Yeah.
One of them is Knuckles and it's like bright red. One of them is Sonic and it's like baby blue.
Okay.
That is like the worst idea. It's a really bad idea. They're going to be full of like grime and like Cheeto dust and just like various greases within like a week of casually using.
They also have fur.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. That's
what you want with your sweaty, greasy gamer.
This
hands.
looks disgusting.
Drinking your gamer juices and
This-
eating your gamer foods.
This is terrible.
rubbing your fingers all over those.
I want this is a plague.
Imagine one of those falling underneath the couch and like collecting like dust and shit over the course of like years, and then like you move out and you find this just like moldy, like weird thing that's you've been breathing in the spores from it because it's been collecting like blood and dust and shit and growing mold.
Dude,
And now
imagine
there's black mold in your arms because you bought the promotional Sonic
you bought
controllers. Yeah.
because you wanted to play on Knuckles' asshole. Apparently, do you think Shadow is going to be the cameo at the end of this one?
I have no idea.
I feel like it's going to be
What
Shadow.
else is there?
Who's playing Shadow?
I don't know. What other Sonic shit is there?
There's a lot. There's Rose.
He's emo. He's the emo one.
Shadow is the
Shadow
dark
is
one.
emo.
He has a gun.
Okay.
Remember Shadow the Hedgehog game that came out when we were kids, and he has a
I
gun in
don't
that
know
game?
fucking idea.
You don't remember the Shadow the Hedgehog game?
Listen, I played the busted one. I played the one that would break after like the first cutscene.
Oh my god!
And they didn't have like game patches back then, so it was just like this famously
You don't
broken.
remember this game where they give Shadow the Hedgehog
Jesus
a gun?
Christ. I need to brush up on my Sonic.
On your Sonic lore.
Yeah, I could get deep into Sonic.
I think they should get Nate from Euphoria to play Shadow the Hedgehog. You know, with his Australian accent,
Or like a weird one. I don't know.
like Kid Cudi.
Kurt Russell or something.
No, Kurt Russell would be
That's like
hilarious.
Shadow the
They should get Simon Rex to play Shadow the
Yeah,
Hedgehog.
ooh,
That'd be
that's a good segue.
just an asshole. So my bit of news is that WB, the Warner Media conglomerate, is desperately trying to make you forget that J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter.
Okay, this is that Harry Potter.
Yeah.
thing?
So did you watch this?
The trailer, no.
Okay, so there's a 14-minute trailer. I was literally trying to get my girlfriend to watch it with me, and she got through 3 minutes, and she was like, "How long is this?"
I can't really. I could never really do Harry Potter stuff. Like that's not to like put anyone.
You're a
down.
moral person.
No, I just couldn't really sit through that shit.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
sat through the Philosopher's Stone, and then like my sister, I think, was
Yeah.
pretty into it, and we would go and see them in the theaters. And after a while, I was like, I'm not coming with you guys to see that.
So I read those books as an adult, and I didn't see the movies until after I'd read the books. So I read the books like as a 20-year-old, and I just watched the last movie.
Do they hold up past being a
The
child?
books?
Yeah.
The books are pretty okay written. I mean, there's some pretty flagrant racism in all the
Yeah,
books.
anti-Semitism. I know about that.
Anti-Semitism. Well, that leads us into...
Yeah.
So the developers of the Harry Potter game, who I assume are getting a lot of heat because J.K. Rowling can't take her foot out of her mouth, decide that the best way to do a Harry Potter game and not step on any toes...
Is she involved?
I mean, her name's on it.
Really?
I don't think she's writing the script
At
or
the
anything.
Harry Potter store in like Times Square.
There's no J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, my roommate
went there.
worked there for the longest
Yeah.
time, and if someone asks about her, you have to change the subject.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can't mention J.K. Rowling or anything.
Well, here's the thing. J.K. Rowling's one of her greatest sins, which you touched on, is by making the goblins pretty anti-Semitic
Yeah.
caricatures.
Yeah.
And in the game, the major villains are the goblins. That's
cool.
Apparently, the rumor is
With
you're
a
gonna find
big
out.
controversy.
You're gonna find out how they ended up being like slaves in the bank.
Maybe she's wearing it on her sleeve, the controversy. Because on Twitter lately, she's just been
doesn't care.
out of pocket.
She doesn't care.
She's been crazy.
She's
Did
been-
you see what John Waters said today?
No.
John Waters was like, he's a king. Hold on. He said, this is hot off the heels of his shit being in the Criterion Collection. I think that's the interview. It was
Fucking
about
love
Pink
that guy.
Flamingos.
Fucking love that guy.
Okay, so John Waters said, it's a good thing we are not going retroactive here because practically every artist would be canceled. I have a thing about who I would cancel. J.K. Rowling. Give her some preparation H for that transphobia, which is what you rub on your asshole when you have an ass ache or when it itches. And he goes, what's the matter with her? He just went in on her. And
Yeah,
said she's
yeah,
butthurt.
yeah. She. I mean, look. The Harry Potter thing is a larger art of the artist conversation that we don't have to have right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the game looks interesting. It's what a Harry Potter game was going to be.
I forgot that's what this news item was.
It's not that J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. That's not
Is it
news.
like Skyrim?
Yeah, it's like Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
So you're getting sorted into a house. It takes place in the 1800s, so it's
like an
clear of all
RPG.
the Harry Potter stuff.
cool.
Yeah, I assume you build your wand, you put together your spells
I'm
into
guessing
bigger
there's
spells.
tie-ins like young, sexy Dumbledore and stuff.
Well, this is they did a smart thing by setting this in the 1800s. So Dumbledore, if he is in the game, would be a student at Hogwarts.
That's cool.
So it looks fun. I'm always of two minds about Harry Potter stuff. I'm like, yo, like, how much can you stretch this universe out? Like, this is about a kid with a wand.
There's like a spin-off that's like 5 movies in.
Yeah, well, it's 3 movies,
Fantastic Beasts.
and where to find them. It's gonna be out of our season's realm, but
Yeah, I'm happy for fans of that. It's cool to have like a game surrounding a franchise you love where you can kind of live in that universe.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars people have it with Battlefront,
Force Awakens,
Lord of the Rings people have it with
the Lord of the Rings,
Shadow
games.
of Mordor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And coming up, Evil Dead the game.
Evil Dead the
baby.
game.
Evil
Good
Dead the
segue.
game.
Good segue. Good
The
segue.
best fucking segue. Listen, we've already had gameplay trailers.
Yes.
They're great. They're tight and they look really good. Graphically, this shit is on par with God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it looks really
insane.
good. It looks really good. It looks really good.
They just now dropped this NVIDIA graphics card comparison where it's like, I guess I'm not a PC gamer. I'm on PS5. I've always been like a console person.
Yeah, me too.
The one card, I guess, which is like an outdated NVIDIA card that still looks really good, but the higher end NVIDIA cards, it runs at like 120 frames per second, which is insane. The textures in that, I mean, all the Deadites and characters from across the movies and shows, like, it's a very... Those developers seem pretty dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. This Evil Dead and Sam Raimi largely are going to have a big year this year.
Yeah. So Lee Cronin said it's the year of the Deadite.
it's the year that's a really good one. We're going to have Doctor Strange Deadite soon.
Yeah. I'm thinking of bringing on Darkman for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's his first superhero.
Oh, yeah, that's a smart move.
Cool.
That's a smart... I've been thinking about what to put with Doctor Strange as a smart move. That'll be probably our first first podcast after our break. But that's pretty exciting. I mean, the Evil Dead game, I'm always a sucker for horror movie games.
Like, you play Friday the 13th?
I did play Friday the
Fucking
13th.
love that
Pretty
game
fun
so
game.
much.
Pretty fun game.
I would play that like almost every day.
It's a really fun game. I think the smart move with that was allowing you to be Jason.
Yeah, and the different Jasons from across
Yeah,
the movies.
yeah.
Like Part 7, which is my favorite, he's all rotted. And he's in the green like cloth and shit.
My favorite was when that game was coming out. I didn't really know what that game was, and then it was revealed that you could play as different era, and then you had the bag Jason.
You could play as horror movie archetypes.
Yes.
So you could play as the jock, the
Yes.
stoner,
Yes.
the goth girl, like all that shit, the virgin, and like all the characters like that. You know, that was so fucking.
And
cool.
all of that to say, I mean, apparently you're going to be able to play as different characters in the Evil Dead universe, except for the Jane Levy character,
which is
like, crazy. Why? Maybe she's going to be an unlockable character.
People really like that movie.
I think.
Well, what happened is they confirmed they have the rights to all of them except for 2013.
Oh, so the Jane Levy character won't be showing
it's
up.
Ash vs. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, which is cool. I mean, Henry the Red and Lord Arthur and a bunch of knights and stuff.
Why?
There's a class of Deadite where you can fight the... so whoever's playing as the Deadite force can summon the skeletons from Army of Darkness.
Why don't they have the rights for the 13 movie?
I have no idea.
It's under the same title.
That is...
Is that a studio thing?
I think that's Lionsgate. I think Lionsgate owns...
You'd think that Raimi owns a significant portion of it, though, wouldn't
I
you?
have no idea.
That's
I
interesting.
think you'd have to license that through Lionsgate. Here's the thing. Renaissance owns the original movie. And now 2 and Army of Darkness is owned by Universal.
Yes.
And 2, I don't know who 2 is owned by right now. But Lionsgate owns 2013. That's why they can't get the rights to it.
I see.
Yeah, very sad.
I see.
I love
Very
that
sad,
movie.
very, very sad.
Jane Levy's really cool. Would have been cool to play as her.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that movie was that they make you believe that Ash is the guy that they positioned to be Ash, and then you find out Jane Levy
then
is
they do a
playing.
bait and switch.
Yeah, you find out Jane Levy's playing both the sister and
Very
Ash.
cool. You
Very,
want to see
very
the
cool.
after credits today?
Where Bruce Campbell showed up.
He's there.
Yep.
I mean, he's in that universe too.
Well, I think I don't know why it's taking them so long. Jane Levy, I feel like would fucking do it. Like just do one more Evil Dead with the two of them.
I think that was the plan.
And
then
then
what happened? I think they decided to go the route with bringing Ash back, which was what most people kind of wanted the whole time. So they just decided to do.
But
It's a great show.
just
I
tack
love
on,
Ash
but
vs. Evil Dead.
just tack on Jane Levy onto the back of something.
You could have done another season of Ash vs. Evil Dead where they meet up towards the very end. But that show ends with him in like a Mad Max world.
That's true.
Like the Deadites inherit the earth.
I have read the Wikipedia article on Ash vs. the Evil Dead and not watched it, which I should probably do.
I love that show. Other horror movie franchises getting games. Texas Chainsaw this year.
Is Texas Chainsaw getting a game?
Yeah. And it looks really good. It's from developers.
Oh, you told me this though that they can't use Chop Top though because they only have the first one.
They can't use. Yeah, they only have the rights to the first movie.
That's pretty shitty. You can't use Chop Top.
I know, and they also have to come up with other family members because they can't use the family members.
Interesting. I wonder if those characters will work their way into Texas Chainsaw 2035.
Maybe that's easier to get the rights to. Right?
I don't know.
I feel like Texas Chainsaw is a bit less heavily guarded than something like Evil Dead.
Well, you know what's interesting? In Halloween, it works in reverse. The Halloween, I listened to this on the Blank Check podcast that I put you onto. They said they said that the sequels to Halloween are easy to license, but the actual Halloween, if you want to get if you want to make a figure, if you might want to make a figure of the original Michael Myers, it's twice as much as it would cost to get like a figure of Michael Myers in 4. Yeah,
I mean, getting the rights to like Halloween Resurrection from Dimension, the studio that doesn't even exist anymore, that's probably chunky.
Dimension, who made the Halloween movies and the Spy Kids movies, just crazy
and
shit.
Zombie ones.
And also, the fact that that Spy Kids takes place in the same universe as Machete, which is the other franchise
that's probably a whole other rabbit hole. Like, where did the rights to all those Dimension movies go? Who has that shit now?
I'm sure you could look that up.
The Weinstein Company? They don't exist either. Weinstein Company is
Has that been dissolved?
Pretty sure.
I just assumed. Let me look this up. Also, it is owned by Bob Weinstein. Separation from Miramax.
What was the last thing they released? Dimension.
That's a good question. Man, Dimension was the fucking best when I was a kid.
All that edgy 90s shit.
Oh no, they're still making shit. Polaroid. And they're making a bunch of fucking
and they
direct to DVD shit.
DVD shit. That makes
they
sense.
own a lot of. Oh, they did John Watts' first movie.
Clown.
Yeah.
Clown.
Yeah, it's John Watts' first
Watts
movie.
Did this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
It's his first movie.
That looks like shit.
You know, he got Spider-Man off of it.
Well,
So
there you go.
He did Amity: The Awakening. A lot of direct to DVD stuff.
I think no one owns the rights to Amity. I think anyone can make an Amity.
Yeah, it's public domain. It's public domain.
That's
and if you use Amity in the title, no one can come and collect anything. I think the last big movie Dimension made
like
was.
30 of them. There's one called Amityville in Space. Did you hear about that?
No.
Have you seen the poster for it?
No.
It's the Amityville house in like the galaxy. It's like a spaceship.
Is that a? Oh God, what was that? Oh my God, stop it right now!
I know, isn't that crazy?
This is fucking crazy.
It's not a spaceship. It's the house connected to like some space demon.
That's
a screen grab from the movie.
Was this made by Doug Walker?
I have no fucking idea. It looks like it. It looks like one of his nostalgia critics. It looks exactly like that.
It looks like
it's made out of cardboard.
Yeah, it does.
That's crazy. We need to bring that on the show.
To boldly, fully. Yeah, come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
With starring nostalgia chick, film brain, nostalgia critic,
Spoonie.
obviously, Spoonie, of course. I don't know the other guys.
These people are so embarrassed to have been in this movie, bro.
Yeah. Apparently, the working conditions, it was like...
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was like Wizzo practices. It was like not feeding people and people passing out from dehydration.
Yeah, apparently, like, Lindsay Ellis, who was in film school at the time, was like, yo, you gotta, like, give people water.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? Apparently these movies are terrible. And it's also a 3.5 hour long movie that was filmed in like 3 weeks.
He never apologized for that because he knew that people would just forget it happened. So he never made a statement about it, and sure enough, it dissolved and no one ever brought it up.
Well, we remember at the Media Morgue, Doug Walker.
We remember. And with that...
So you don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, hey.
That's our new segment.
Alright, okay, we're going to come back to talk about porn. X!
The movie
is a 2022 slasher erotic horror film by Ty West. The alternative title for this was Texas Chainsaw 2022.
Texas Softcore Massacre. And like his other shit, this is a 70s throwback movie.
You know, this is my first Ty West movie.
Really?
I had never seen a Ty West movie.
The House of the Devil has a lot of clout.
Yeah.
It is a somewhat slow, boring movie.
Is it? Isn't it? See, I heard that every single one of his movies is attempting to throw back to another time and using the filmmaking.
Yeah, House of the Devil is the first time he did the 70s. It's full on 16 millimeter.
Yeah.
I think this one's what 32 or 5 or something.
It looks like,
which is like the rarest one.
Yeah. At first, I was trying to figure out if they were using film for only the porn scenes. And then my brother, who went to go see it with us, was like,
out in the black.
In the black, you can see the grain on it.
Yeah.
What'd you think about this movie?
I shit, man. I'm a sucker for 70s horror. I like 70s porn, too. No, but mostly 70s horror. This is like a fun throwback to, like, obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But, I mean, in a lot of ways it feels more like a Friday the 13th. These kids are kind of getting naked and laying around in the lake and stuff. And
that's
going
interesting.
off to have sex and investigate things. Yeah. Which, you know, Texas Chainsaw kind of does that. It's visually mostly a TCM kind of corollary.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I mean, the moralizing over sex didn't really begin in a big way until Friday the 13th. Like Halloween does it a little bit, Texas does it a little bit, but both of those felt unintentional. Right. And then with Friday the 13th, it feels like the rules have been calcified.
Carpenter was always saying that like Linda and Annie get picked off the way they do
because they weren't paying attention. Because they weren't paying attention, they were distracted. Which makes sense. I mean, not to say that sexism can't be in the osmosis of the movie, but I believe Carpenter when he says that. Yeah, I mean, Dan and I are really here, not just because we're porn experts, but also because we're fans of the slasher genre. We're slasher fans. It's
70s slashers are my favorite.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and it's my favorite kind of horror subgenre. I just kind of like how visceral it is. I mean, we've been this is our third slasher of the year, fourth overall. Yeah. Like I think, I mean, we might as well be.
This is the second slasher of the year. It's just you and me.
Yeah, we're trying to drag the other guys on. No, but I really dug this. I think this movie does a smart thing, which is paying close attention to what makes a slasher and attempting to reconfigure it again. I think one of the issues with the slasher that we talked about during Scream is that the rules have been calcified so much that like audiences know them. So when you're making a slasher now, you're either making them self-aware or you're trying to do something aesthetic.
Well, that's why I feel like this is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seems like this comes from a world where
slashers don't exist.
Where Scream didn't like polarize everything so much, and you can just make like a fun throwback.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like as soon as who enters the frame, like who is gonna die.
Yeah.
Obviously Church Mouse. Obviously the artsy DP.
Yeah,
like,
Brittany Snow.
The skeevy, Obviously the skeevy cowboy hat guy, and obviously
the black guy.
Is the final.
And obviously the black guy. I thought the black guy was gonna get much worse.
How did he die?
He just got shot in the chest. Kid Cudi was like, I'm a producer on this.
That's crazy that like you see all of Kid Cudi in this, don't you?
Do you think it's a prosthetic dick?
I have no fucking idea.
Kid Cudi, I know you listen to the media more. Tell us if that's a real dick.
Is that public information? Because I would believe that he would just like have it.
Well, if it is a prosthetic dick, that's two prosthetic dicks.
Out, that's like his big ass.
That's true.
Standing in the window and having his hands on his hips. Like,
I mean, Simon Rex said that the dick in Red Rocket is a fake dick.
Fake dick. Okay.
He said it's a museum quality fake dick.
The dick in Antichrist, for example, by Lars von Trier,
is fake.
It's a real dick. No, that dick is real.
No, I heard
it's a dick double. It's another guy.
Oh,
it's a real
because
dick.
William Dafoe said they said William Dafoe's dick was too big.
Dick was too big. Yeah, but that is like, and all the Dog Me 95 stuff is like unsimulated sex. We saw Sweet Back recently,
where they have unsimulated sex with a child.
Yeah,
which is not great.
We get dicks in movies from time to time, real dicks, but it kind of depends. I mean, this is a bigger studio movie. It's a boutique studio movie, but still. So
I mean, one of the themes of this podcast over the last year has been trying to figure out what A24 is as a boutique studio. It's just been bought by Apple, so it's now a studio.
This is weird for them.
Yeah, it's weird.
This is not like an elevated thing. I mean, it's kind of it's saying stuff about age, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's we talked about this when we saw the trailer. It feels like a different kind of horror movie than what they usually make. It actually felt like to me, like it was 1/3 the horror movies they're known for, which like Hereditary, and the other 2/3 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And there's some artsy stuff in here that feels like right at home with A24. I mean, the cutting ahead to other scenes. You know, like one shot, this scene, the next shot, the next scene, doing that 3 times until you switch the scene. That's pretty unique.
But I appreciated that it wasn't afraid to lean into the more corny aspects of 70s. I mean, we were just talking.
It feels mean spirited, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels like it's a pretty angry movie.
We were just talking about this.
There was some hate feeling.
But here's the thing. The movie, I feel like every single horror movie, the only thing that makes itself aware. And we talk about this all the time, Dan. And by us, I mean just you and me. Men, Women, and Chainsaws hasn't had an indelible impact on the horror genre, especially the slasher genre.
I thought the phallic object here was the double-barreled shotgun.
You fucking bet it was. Yeah. You bet it was sticking it in his chest. But the thing about this movie that makes it interesting in that way is that the movie pays careful attention to the fact that like the horror genre is about sexual anxiety.
Yeah.
And
this wears that on its sleeve.
Yeah,
the slasher just wants to fuck.
The slasher just wants to fuck,
her.
and the fact that a lot of the horror genre's roots, especially like my favorite Universal monsters over there, if I'm pointing to it, is the creature from the Black Lagoon, and that creature is sexual anxiety. They're like, this creature is gonna fuck my wife.
Some of the most iconic imagery in horror comes from sexual anxiety. I mean, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. Dude. Obviously, we fucking talked about Hellraiser before. That's all sadomasochism inspired.
I mean, the roots of the American version of the genre is Dracula. Yeah. Dracula is a foreigner who comes into your house, steals your wife. You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of that has been coded over time as black people. So making Kid Cudi the hung, like very sexually proficient.
What does he say? He's like the last bachelor who stayed here. Like getting my wife excited.
Yes. He
phrases it in another way, but it's like, oh yeah, he really does not like that this
black dude,
well endowed, like big handsome black dude is like staying at the house right across from where his wife sleeps.
He really doesn't like Kids See Ghost. He's not a fan of that album. Mm-hmm. He's like Kanye had better.
He did not buy the pink vinyl variant. From Walmart.
He did not. But I did buy that for my brother though. I did. It looked pretty cool. It's pretty great. No, so I guess to go piece by piece, the interesting thing about this movie, I think, other than the sexual subtext, which I'm sure we'll get back to, is the way it uses the two types of filmmaking. You know, Ty West said that this movie is a movie about making shitty movies, and about the filmmaking process. And I love the little porn interludes that they stick into the movie. Oh my god!
Movies about making movies are always fun, no matter what. I mean, even when it's not the best movie of all time, like stuff like The Disaster Artist, which kind of covers up what a piece of shit Tommy Wiseau is. That movie's still fun because they're making a movie and it's bad and they don't know what they're doing. Like, it's always entertaining.
Do you think this movie would have hit big if the people didn't all get murdered?
Did it not hit big? I think
no. I mean the actual movie within the movie.
Oh, the porn movie.
The first VHS porn movie, apparently.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was one of those like nudie cuties that they would have played at like Times Square, and they're like 40 minutes long.
They talk about it being VHS. It's coming out on VHS. It's about home video.
It would have been like the deep throat of VHS.
I mean, yeah,
which was the biggest theatrically released porn.
I guess we'll see in this third movie in the X trilogy. Apparently, it's going to be a sequel.
X, Pearl, and then he said
he's doing a sequel. And then he's doing a sequel. And I
guess Mia Goth on the run, right?
I guess. I mean, he said he's leaning into the fact that horror movies sequels are stupid.
Right.
So that will be.
It'll be apparent.
I'm sure they'll hit the old lady with lightning, or it'll be their son.
Yeah, she'll be like Jason, and they do like a James Bond intro where she walks in the frame and then like shoots the camera or something.
Or stabs the camera. Isn't that happening in a Jason movie?
Part 6, yes. The lightning strikes him and he comes up and slashes the screen. Jason lives, That'd be really fucking cool. I would love to see Pearl be like a hyper franchise like slasher icon. Like Pearl on like skateboards and Pearl on like limited edition fright rag shirts and things like that. That'd be so fucking cool.
I'm sure A24 is listening to this right now, like the FBI, and they're like, "We got it."
They already have merchandise the fuck out
the merch for this is pretty tight though.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty
tight.
The sweatpants. I know you did. I fucking know you did.
It's a lot.
I
that shit is too much.
I know you fucking bought that merch. I looked at it and I was like, I really wanted the.
I canceled the tie-dye T-shirt.
I know.
In favor of the sweatpants.
But here's the thing: I was going to get the tie-dye T-shirt, and then you bought it, and I was like, I can't. Also
I had to cancel that because the sweats were cooler.
I see.
I have too many horror movie T-shirts.
You do have a lot of horror movie T-shirts.
Horror movie sweats.
You're always wearing. You're not wearing one today. Oh no, you kind of are. Brain Dead is a Peter Jackson.
It's also just like a brand.
All right. Well, fuck you, Dan. What do you think of the performances in this?
Mia Goth is amazing.
Mia Goth
I think she should be an A-lister. Like, it's time, right?
Dude, well, here's what we talked about, and we can only do this, and we can only do this while it's the two of us because Zach and Justin aggressively don't care. But I feel like there's a case to be made that Mia Goth is our Jamie Lee Curtis in the sense of she's the number one scream queen overall right now. Like, I think
that scene where she's like her death scene in Suspiria. is maybe the most effective scene of that movie. It's
Dude.
amazing.
Dude.
It's amazing.
It's so...
Her eyes, like, turn white, don't they?
So good. And then at the end, when Dakota Johnson comes in and opens her chest and the vagina's inside, and she's like, what do you want, my child? And she's like, death.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Suspiria.
I need to watch that
What a
again.
fucking good movie.
I love both Suspiria.
I knew...
I know I dick ride Argento a lot, but I like the remake too.
I knew my girlfriend liked me because she watched all 4 hours of the Snyder Cut with me before we started dating, and then watched Suspiria like a week
Right
later
after?
with me. No, like a week later with me.
Shit.
And Suspiria is like 2.5 hours. I was like, oh wow, I gotta ask this
I
girl
went with a
out.
whole group of new school film kids to see Suspiria, and I think I was... This happens a lot in a group watching movies. I'm the one who's like, yeah, that was like so cool, and they were like, oh, like, I don't know, they were kind of lukewarm on it.
No, I loved it.
But that was the guy.
I know.
Really liked
I
it.
fucking love both versions of Suspiria, but I think the new one is so smart.
The thing about like the Argento one is it's such like a perfect horror movie atmospherically. It's got bats, like little rubber bats that you would see in like a Halloween decoration.
But the script is not great.
Whatever. Who
Yeah,
cares?
but what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter in that movie.
Yeah.
But the Guadagnino one,
Argento is always style over substance.
but the Guadagnino one
is cool.
is so hyper focused on script.
Yeah. That's another Radiohead alum doing the soundtrack.
Of course,
Tom York,
yeah,
amazing.
and it's a fucking
I
good
love
soundtrack.
that soundtrack.
It's a fucking. But anyway, Mia Goth has had maybe what's she done? She's done. I know. She's done High Life, Suspiria,
There was
the
another
Necrophilia. Yeah,
Von Trier movie?
I think she's in that Von Trier movie.
Mia Goth movies.
Yeah, no, she is because she was in it with LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Um,
That's probably where they met.
That's where they met.
That's so upsetting. Cure for Wellness, yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
Nymphomaniac. Emma, which I never saw, that period piece with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Is she in that?
Yeah,
That's
she's
not a
in
horror
that.
movie. She's
No,
just,
it's
she's
not a
just
horror
Anya.
movie. I'm
She's
just
just
looking at
Anya's
Mia Goth's
best
movies.
friend in that movie, probably.
What else is there? Those are her big ones.
But the horror movie, she's done like 5 horror
Devil
movies
All
now.
the Time, she's in, which is pretty
Devil
cool.
all the time.
Yeah, no, she's the scream queen coming up right now that I probably respect the most.
And I remember about 10 minutes into this movie, I turned to Dan and I said, "I think the old lady's also Mia Goth."
And I had a realization.
And what a
It washed over
fucking
me.
good performance!
Very, very cool.
What a good, like, able to channel.
Because aren't they two sides of the same coin? Like,
They're the same.
Like that character, if she was old and didn't have her sexuality, the wielding, or she wanted to be famous. She wanted to use that sexuality to be famous.
Well,
and
if she didn't run away from her dad's conservative Christian
Yeah,
upbringing,
yeah,
she would have become Pearl.
yeah, she would have been in that house, unable to interact. Well, okay, in this movie is the implication that she's there because she did some bad shit. She probably killed a couple people, and she's hiding
Pearl?
away in that house.
I think so. I mean, we'll get to the post-credit scene in a second, but I think the post-credit scene suggests that there's some bad shit that occurred in that house with Pearl, and then she's not marooned there. Maybe she falls in love with that guy, and they kill people together. The old man.
But yeah, okay, probably.
That movie
It seemed like it was like back to formula once they were killing the porn stars.
Yeah, they were like back to the old grind.
Yeah, exactly.
And they also said that there's an ungodly amount of like evidence of dead people there. And there's that
Who's
guy.
that guy chained up in the basement?
It's Pearl's guy.
What guy?
She fucks that guy. Because the husband can't fuck.
Yeah.
So
I
think that's
see.
that's the idea.
Oh, the bachelor he was referring to. She wanted that guy.
I think he's the sex slave.
And once he probably starved or like couldn't get it up anymore, they just killed him.
Yeah. Or is he dead or is he still alive? I thought he was alive.
He was rotting.
Oh, okay.
He was rotting.
Okay.
He had his skin was like gray and green. And
No,
just-
I assumed it was her sex slave of some kind.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the guy has, Pearl's husband has sex with Pearl and then
He's
immediately
worried
dies.
about his heart. My heart.
My heart.
How sad of a fate is that? Your wife still wants to fucking in her geriatric age,
And she thinks you're hot.
Yeah,
She's ready to
they
fuck.
love each other.
Yeah.
When Jenna Ortega escapes and they're coming into the door, he goes, "I told you to stay down there," or whatever, and Pearl goes, "It's okay. Now we have each other again,"
Dude,
which is a very sweet moment.
it is very cool.
They really love each other.
Speaking of Jenna Ortega, second appearance on the Media Morgue,
man.
Jenna Ortega. I really dug her Jack Nicholson moment where she
What?
sticks her head in between the two.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I really liked
and he
it.
gets her in the hands.
Oh, dude.
That's the Jack. Yeah, because that happens
Yeah,
in The Shining.
yeah.
She gets his hand.
A lot of visceral kills in this one. When I was watching this, I was like, "Fuck! I missed slashers,
A lot
bro."
of like like head trauma and shit.
Lots of head trauma. The best one for me is when they stick him in the eyes.
Yeah,
I
and
love
then it cuts
that.
back, and that reminds me
yank it out
so
of his
much
eyes.
of Friday the 13th.
Yes.
That was because those movies, they were afraid of the MPAA giving them an NC-17. That as soon as a knife entered someone's body, it would cut away immediately. But here they're doing it intentionally, not because they're afraid of the ratings board, because it's just a nice little slasher throwback. I love that.
Because if A24 got an X rating for this, they would love it. Rated X?
Yeah.
Oh, they would love it.
That's how they would market it.
Yeah, of course.
I love it when she wobbles over and she stabs him in the neck, but there's no sound effect. It's a very slight... And then she pulls it out and waddles away. Like, this is a geriatric old woman murdering people.
It's so interesting, dude. Like, I feel like A24 is the first studio since something... We were just talking about Dimension. Where, like, the actual, like... The chewiness of movies is exploited. Like, they're like, if A24 got an X rating, if an A24 movie got an X rating, they would fucking love it.
The first NC-17 fucking boutique horror movie.
Oh, dude, they would fucking love it. But no,
it wouldn't be able to run in most theaters.
No, but it would fucking...
It would run for a long time.
It would run at the Alamo. It would run at the Alamo.
Definitely.
Alamo would make a
Isn't
meal of it.
Sweet back NC-17?
Yeah, it's rated X.
There you go.
By an all-white jury. That's how they marketed
That's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like...
About how he wouldn't pay for the... Like, most of the time they pay a critic or they give him a free screening to see it. He's like, I'm not going to give these white people a free screening. He let them go and see it with, like, crowds.
And then they asked him, they were like, hey, what would you give it if you had... And he was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
G? I don't know. You know? No, I love that. I love the kills in this movie. I missed really good slasher movie kills. We got a little of it in Scream, but not quite as gnarly as
the
this.
best one in Scream is when she gets lit on fire and gets shot.
You mean
our favorite of the show. That is what happens to her. She gets lit up and then
she's like, ah! Just oh my god. What'd you think of Kid Cudi?
He's a big dick.
He's a big swinging dick.
Yeah.
You know, I was discussing this with somebody who hadn't seen the movie, and I was trying to parse it with them. And I was like, I think, and where I'm landing is, I think the joke is that white people are afraid of black men specifically who are sexually proficient. Yeah, like I think
he's
that's
the only one in the movie who gets pussy.
Yeah, and I think
here's the thing: the main porn producer guy in the cowboy hat.
Who's great, by the way.
He seems to like enjoy it. Like he likes seeing him fuck. Martin Henderson, who's playing the cuckold willingly, not the cuckold against his will, but the guy who likes being cucked. I think he is also young and old. I think he's very good too.
I don't even know if he likes being cucked. I think he likes money.
Yeah, but he seems to like that scene where they're all kicking it and they're like playing guitar and singing.
And Kid Cudi doesn't sing.
Well, he's strumming though.
Yeah, but he should be singing.
Yeah, I know, maybe. I would change that too. But Martin Henderson seems like he's into it. Like maybe it doesn't seem defensive. It seems like this is a dumb like country boy in a cowboy hat who wants to make a buck off of porn, like he says in the beginning. And it's like he doesn't really care about his wife getting
plowed.
Yeah, by other people, as long as it makes him. I mean, I know a lot of suitcase pimps, which is a terminology from Red Rocket. Ooh, a lot of those people basically like pimped out their wives and they'd bring them to set and they'd be standing there watching them have sex with like other men on camera.
I mean, this is why these two movies are so good in tandem together, because I think, I mean, X has a much more positive spin, and I think positive meaning
I think
like
it's more sex positive.
Yeah, well, I think it's very sex positive, and I think it's like it's very positive of the porn industry. I mean, I think like all the people there are consenting adults. They all enjoy sex work, except for Jenna Ortega, who thinks that she's going to die at the end.
Yes and no, though, right?
I mean, I think she enjoys it until she thinks God is cursing her.
Well, she was saying like, I've been watching you all day, and all I can think of is I want to be involved. You know,
it's true. And then at the end, she's like, I should never have done this.
The only guy in the group who gets reamed before the actual killings are her boyfriends, the French New Wave film student boy.
And he wouldn't have died if he would have died anyway, but he wouldn't have gotten it quite as bad.
The girl doesn't specify. She's like, shit, the one's getting laid and the one's getting cuckolded.
No, because she wouldn't. I don't think she would have killed him if he had let her come on to him.
Oh well, yeah.
Which is bad. Which would have been bad.
She was prepared for that though. She was out there with a knife.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks. She was setting herself up for disappointment.
No, I think she was.
I feel so bad for her.
Actually, that would have been. Let me correct myself. What she was trying to do was assault him because she was going to have him at night point.
Right.
Which is bad. Yeah, he would have gotten it anyway. There's no way to survive with a slasher movie unless you're Mia Goth.
Maybe if he just bit the bullet and had sex with an old lady and whispered sweet nothing, she wouldn't have killed anybody. They'd just taken one for the team. I don't know. Have sex with Pearl. What if you knew that was the ultimatum? Have sex with Pearl.
Am I going to have sex with Pearl? Would you have sex with Pearl?
If everyone I knew was going to die, if I didn't, then yeah.
We should speculate on who in the media morgue would do that.
Zach.
Zach would do it for us. Zach would do it for us.
He would take one for the team.
Justin would not. Not for us. Not for us.
Well, we should get off this.
We can cut this. We can cut this.
What else happens in this movie?
Well, I think the next thing that would be is kind of most interesting to me is the unity of time, which is that it all takes place in one night, which is a classic slasher conceit.
Yeah.
And Scream, we're always talking about Scream because Scream broke a lot of these formulas open. Scream did the thing of breaking it over a few days. But then when
Black Christmas predates Halloween by 4 years. Came out the same year as TCM.
It does.
And that's also like a 5-day lead up to like One Crazy Night, that kind of thing.
I've always loved One Crazy Night horror movies just because I
like One Crazy Night movies.
Me too.
Good Time is my favorite for me.
I also love Good Time.
Come back to it.
Good Time actually feels like a bit of a horror movie in some way, but
Definitely.
but I think I really enjoy the conceit of having it all take place in one night. I think it's a well-trodden thing that they do.
Calls back to classic slasher shit.
Mm-hmm. And I think the way that it's able to propel itself, especially when the killing starts, by not having to break it up overnight. Like in slashers where they have to discover the body, they mourn, can work, but I much like it when Mia Goth.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. There is always a scene where they find some body that's been killed elaborately, and they're like, ah! And they do a zoom in exactly like they did here with Jenna Ortega. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Jenna Ortega, by the way, what a great scream.
Yeah, amazing.
What a great
really,
scream.
Really good. And they hold on that for like 20 seconds or something. Maybe not that long, but they slow push in on her, and then her mouth gradually gets wider and wider. He knew that was like the money shot for the trailers and shit too. That they were going to put on t-shirts and shit.
I mean, she's really growing into she's been a good actress since the first time I saw her, but I think she's coming into her own in the kinds of roles that she's playing.
She was a Disney kid, right?
She was certainly a Disney kid.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I feel like the best of them are.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, she seems like really comfortable with doing funny, stupid, weird movies. And I mean, Scream is a funny, stupid, weird movie. This is a funny, stupid, weird movie.
Liked, what was that called? She survived a school shooting. The Undoing, right? Maybe.
I think.
Is The Undoing a TV show?
I heard it was very good.
I liked it. Yeah, she's really funny, and she gets high in class, and she's like flopping down the staircase in her gay friend just to like drive her home.
I don't know, man.
Very silly movie about surviving a school shooting.
Not, and I heard Studios 666 is also great.
Oh yeah.
Or she's great in it.
She's a demon. Yeah. She bookends the movie. She shows up as a demon in the beginning, and then at the end, and saves Dave Grohl. Spoilers for Studio 666. In case Zach is listening, I told him he should see it because it's good.
Do you think he's going to watch it?
I have no idea. I know he likes the Foo Fighters. We'll see. It'll be on the end of the year list. It was campy fun.
Oh, interesting.
It was very campy and very fun.
Would you say this is going to be on your year at the end of the year list?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it.
I liked it more than Scream, I think.
Me too.
Maybe a little bit more. No, just that.
It's funny, we're initiating my younger brother into... Well, he's already a big slasher fan, but I feel like every time we see a slasher movie, he's always there now. Or we talk about it. But, I don't know. I think the three of us, we all obviously talked about Scream a few episodes ago. I think we all enjoyed this more than Scream. I mean, and...
Horror Twitter is divided.
Really?
A lot of Horror Twitter is really running their Scream fandom to the ground.
Guys, both of these movies are good. I'm trying to think of anything else. Obviously we should talk about Pearl. The prequel sequel that's coming out that has a post-credit scene that's coming out.
First A24 post-credit scene. How about that?
How about that?
It's weird because this one's like 70s vibe, and Pearl looks like it's a Technicolor, like Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, he said it's a Douglas Sirk movie, but a horror movie.
That's awesome.
I mean,
the third one going to be like a 90s.
I really hope so.
Movie?
I mean, I can't even fathom how you. Well, actually, I do fathom it. Apparently what happened was he went to New Zealand to shoot it because New Zealand was the only place where they could shoot.
It's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But with outside of the COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
Because this is obviously a very intimate movie. And then they had to, but before they had to get COVID tested when they were coming into the country, and they had to quarantine for 2 weeks in their hotels.
And that's where he wrote it.
And he apparently FaceTimed Mia Goth, came up with a story, wrote the script, pitched it to A24, and they shot both.
Why not just shoot 2 movies if it takes so long to get into theory and principle?
Now, what I wonder is if we're going to find out that the actors in this movie are also playing actors in Pearl.
Weird.
I wonder.
That'd be weird. I think the actors they probably brought in for that one were quarantining while they were shooting Pearl. That's what I think probably happened. You know.
Well, which one do you think they shot first?
Definitely X.
Yeah.
Because they that had the most preparation going in. And while they were doing that, probably nights at the hotel or whatever, they were probably storyboarding and coming up with color templates and I don't know, pre-production shit.
It's fucking awesome.
Do you notice that the house is like that first shot where you see Martin Henderson come up to the house from the stairs? It's a screen door and then staircase on the right going up. It is the exact shot from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You said this.
Very fucking cool. They built
Very
the house
fucking
for the movie too. It's so awesome.
I don't know. I mean, this is a movie that I look forward to seeing again, and I think, I mean, I don't know if the slasher genre is going to make a comeback the way it did before, but this movie certainly makes me wish it did. I mean, I miss the comfort. I actually found myself being very comforted by the rules that we make fun of with Scream, but like, there's a structure to these movies. You know what I mean? And
his horror movies, they're like warm and like inviting.
They are.
Like House of the Devil has a very fine 16mm grain. It's a warm movie. Everyone's wearing like corduroy and like fuzzy sweaters and stuff. Warm yellows and like auburn reds and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking fun, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking fun.
It's a very inviting world to like have people get shot. Greta Gerwig gets shot in the head in that movie.
Does she actually?
Greta Gerwig is in that. She would never do this today. She gets shot in the face and her brains explode.
How early in the movie did she get shot?
30 minutes in.
Whoa.
She's the friend who's like, hey, don't do it. But I'll drive you if you're still going to do it. She drives her there and then goes to wait like a stakeout in case anything weird happens and she gets shot in the face.
Dude, Greta Gerwig. Remember when Greta Gerwig acted? What a weird world.
I wonder if Frances Ha was before or after House of the Devil. It's like low budget, like, I don't know, run and gun filmmaking. Mm-hmm. She was doing a lot of shit like that. And
then she made Lady Bird and now she's top.
Too A-lister for that now.
And she's a top 10 director. Damn. She was supposed to do a Broadway play with Oscar Isaac.
Greta? I miss the old Greta. I want the old Greta back.
I don't like her movies.
What?
I love her movies.
I want her to be in like shit like House of the Devil again.
What if you make you think she'd do like a prestige horror movie? I feel like she would.
Direct one? Write and direct?
No, be in one.
Be in one.
I wonder.
Like Hereditary? I feel like for its time, House of the Devil was kind of prestige.
Like in 10 years?
A24.
In 10 years, I could see her doing a Hereditary.
I have no idea.
I don't
know what she's up to.
I could see it.
I think her and Noah Baumbach kind of out pretentious each other.
Oh, you fucking bet they do.
And they're only gonna do prestige.
And they're both writing the Barbie movie, which what the fuck?
That's weird as fuck. Is it still Amy Schumer?
No, it's Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, right, okay.
It was supposed to be Amy Schumer.
I know.
She said it was supposed to, her version of it was gonna be a Barbie that doesn't fit in with other Barbies.
Huh.
Which, sure. Okay.
Who cares? Yeah, not me.
You want to rate this thing?
Yeah, man. It's 8 out of 10. 8 fucking pitchforks through the face out of 10 rotting sex slaves, I guess.
Okay.
And sellers.
I'll give it a 10. A 10. Pearl shooting the gun and it kicking her out the front door.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Out of.
I will not accept a life I do not deserve.
Yes.
They say it at the same time. We're down on the TV.
Right. I would give it a 10 out of 13. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so from one porn video to another, don't minimize the screen. Just open another private tab.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about Red Rocket after the break. Red Rocket is a 2021 film starring Simon Rex.
Red Rocket.
Yum.
The new one by Sean Baker.
And but the way we start this out, I want you to talk about your experience seeing this movie because I saw it on my TV and you saw it in the theater.
Yeah, where? Oh, you know what it was?
You saw it at the Alamo.
Yeah, I saw it with the Q&A with Asa Akira right after. And
I don't know her work.
No, not familiar.
Was she in a Tarantino movie?
Yeah, something like that. She equal amount of foot shots in her work and something Tarantino would direct. But it gave me a greater appreciation for the movie. Yeah. It is very true to like a washed up porn actor's experience. Apparently, a lot of what they say, and I was ready to write it off. I didn't really. I was like creeped out by it.
Yeah,
I thought it was weird and stuff, and
it's kind of a completely opposite experience with X to this. I think in terms of sex work.
Man,
Well, here's the thing. I think Sean Baker has a very worthy project, and he said this is out of his mouth, which is to make sex work like there's no stigma around it anymore, which is very worthy.
Noble.
And it's very noble because I think I mean, maybe not so much now, but probably still now. I mean, I know when I was a teenager, being a porn star was very taboo.
Yeah.
To even say you were watching porn was very taboo.
It's a lot more, I mean, it's pretty more normalized now to do it yourself independently.
Yeah. And I mean, some of that probably is OnlyFans, some of that's probably Progress, a bunch of different things. But I think, Sean Baker's project, which he starts with Tangerine to make sex work, something that's not...
I think that's my favorite of his movies.
Yeah.
Tangerine is really...
I haven't seen Florida Project. I've only seen this in Tangerine.
Florida Project is pretty great. Yeah, the two I've seen are Tangerine and Florida Project in this.
So I think his filmmaking is pretty solid. I really like how inventive he is. Yeah. That he'll just use a phone camera, an old digital camera.
It feels lived in. Apparently,
very
this
lived
movie,
in.
That house that Brie Elrod and her mother live in, and Simon Rex obviously invades. It feels very white trash. Very lived in.
Certainly does.
Cans and trash laying around, wrappers and stuff. And
they even said the donut place was open for business in the morning and they'd shoot in the afternoon/evening.
Yeah.
Which you can definitely see. I don't know how they get all that great natural light.
A lot of it was super run and gun.
Yeah,
They were saying like they had to memorize like the train schedule
Mm-hmm.
so that you couldn't hear like the train in the background of a lot of like the donut store stuff, and like when they're shooting in the house, like it was all near like a big train track.
That's interesting.
So they had to cut.
Both of these take place in Texas.
Which ones? Florida?
No, Red Rocket and X.
Oh, yeah.
That's
crazy.
Interesting.
That's
hey,
weird.
another
I
one.
assumed it was Florida.
Wow, we're geniuses.
Yeah. Oh man. Medium Morgue on top of it.
Medium Morgue on top of you. No, but I it definitely does sound run and gun. I heard that there was only a 10-person crew, about $1 million and a half.
I think that's like what he likes.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's kind of found his niche. He knows that making movies with your friends can either go horribly wrong
or great,
or it can go great,
or it can become The Evil Dead
swimmingly. Yeah, exactly.
And I think
where they're not friends by the end of it, but the movie's genius.
The movie's a genius.
So it doesn't matter.
But I think one of the smartest things Sean Baker does is get cast actors that are rarely so big that you don't know who they are. The one exception to this is William Dafoe in Florida Project, who is a pretty much an A-lister. But otherwise, Simon Rex we know from our childhood. Mm-hmm. Like we know him from Scary Movie.
He's in some parody stuff.
Yeah, he was in MTV. He was in MTV for a second. But generally, he's not someone I think of when I think of a major A24 director.
Simon Rex.
Simon Rex, the actor.
Like
he's not an actor,
like an art house movie.
Yeah,
man, right?
yeah. I wouldn't think of him, and I really thought he was wonderful in this, and I think him being so good at being an A24 scumbag, of whom he's the patron saint.
It's crazy because I wasn't even thinking about his performance. Like I only saw this complete scumbag.
Yeah, he's just such a fucking scumbag. Yeah. And the issue is, and this is a great thing that you brought up when you saw it a couple months ago, was all the elements are technically so good that it makes the movie actually feel sinister.
Beautiful movie.
Yeah, it looks great. I love the scenes where he goes to Strawberry's house and it's Technicolor.
And when it gets to that, the content that I find so like
reprehensible.
Yeah, it definitely. Reprehensible is a good word for it. It, like you said, it feels sinister. It's like this is such a well-made movie, but hold on, is this really happening right now?
Well,
is this the journey that we're on with this guy?
Here's the thing, Dan. I mean, we talk all the time about, maybe not on the podcast, but off the podcast, about whether or not something being portrayed in a movie is the director saying yes.
Because the content is unethical does not mean the movie is condoning it.
Yeah, and it all comes down to readings and how you read a film, and Broy Deschanel, this person on YouTube, this video essayist that I really dig, just did a 40-minute video about Licorice Pizza and Lolita and how
Euphoria,
those
right?
and Euphoria was a different one, but Euphoria does have a little bit of it. She took Licorice Pizza, Lolita, Call Me by Your Name, and was like, how are these movies framing underage relationships? And in some of them, like in the Lolita, that's not the Kubrick one, the remake. She was like,
I didn't even know that there was.
There's an Adrian Lyne one. It's pretty gross.
Weird.
And in that one, it's very clear that the director wants to sexualize the teenage girl in question.
Girl, yeah.
And in something like Licorice Pizza, it's a little bit more ambiguous as to what's going on there. But in this one, I think it's not ambiguous that the camera is ogling
she is
Strawberry.
Hyper feminine, and she's in sundresses, and she talks like a forest nymph that's like seductive and stuff with her little southern accents.
Yeah. And the performance is good. I don't want to say that
she's great.
I don't want to say the performance is the issue. And also, I would like to say the actress is 26 years old.
Yeah.
But
I want to highlight the tone.
Yes, please go ahead.
We established that she is still in high school, but he says she's legal as an eagle, which means she's probably just freshly, 17? Maybe?
She says that she's almost 18, but that feels like a lie.
Yeah, and as soon
we know it's a lie because she's about to go into her senior year, so it has to be a lie. Yeah.
And as soon as we... Oh, I didn't even think about that. Wow. As soon as we established that he's a washed-up 35-year-old ex-porn star who is looking for a new girl to pimp out and take to LA with him, and we established that she hasn't even graduated high school, and what he's doing is kind of immoral, unethical. I don't know what I was thinking, but I definitely was not expecting such a pornographic depiction of just straight up pedophilia.
And here's the we have to put a trigger warning on this episode.
He fucks her on a rock.
Here's the thing.
Punches in.
Here's the thing, dude. I feel like it's bad. I truly feel like it's bad film criticism to go because this thing appears in the movie.
I know
it's a bad thing,
and that's why people shit on me for not loving this movie. That they're like, well, it's not advertising it. It's immoral. The movie knows it's immoral.
But here's the thing: the movie knows it's immoral and actually finds the fact that it's immoral titillating. I think the way it's framing it. So we for an example, we were talking about Good Time earlier about how Connie does a very similar thing in Good Time, but it's framed in
give
literal.
Himself some more time.
Yeah,
it's out of necessity.
Yes, he starts to force himself come on to this girl that's probably no more than 15 years old.
Yeah.
And the movie frames it as something that's deeply disturbing. It has these dark red and blue lights under it.
Extreme neon in her actual bedroom. It's all pink and stuff.
And he kisses her, and I don't want to put levels on it, but the camera doesn't stay on it long enough for us to see him do anything.
That doesn't feel like it's shot like porn.
No, it doesn't. And it feels like something that's deeply dangerous. It feels like a descent for Connie's character. And in this, the camera is lingering on her ass. Yeah. The camera is above them.
It's really framing her as something of an ethereal beauty too that can be kind of corrupted by Mikey. I mean, when she has the wind blowing and she holds her arms out, and it's catching her dress and stuff, and then they're just in her bedroom, just fucking. Yeah. And she gets up. I mean, boobs are out, full frontal, and she's playing that piano song. It's they're really expecting you to fall in love with Strawberry over the course of the movie, right?
Yeah, and there's never a moment where a movie like this where
they have just said she just graduated high school at least, right?
Hey, well, here's the thing, crazy. Dude. The issue with it for me is when they have relationships like this in movies, if the director is trying to full-throatedly go, this is a bad relationship, usually they'll have a scene where someone goes, or even the girl goes, what the fuck?
But she never shares a scene with any of the other side characters.
This is a great time to move into what your theory about the movie is, which may make the movie better.
Well, listen, this was what I was... And I didn't even think about it until I saw that Q&A with Brie Elrod and Asakura at the Alamo. And Brie was talking about how... I forget the name of the actress who plays Strawberry, but they were never on set at the same time. They had seen each other off of set, so obviously it's this is what we did today. Oh, okay, I was here doing this. But they didn't know what each other's scenes were. And so maybe it's that's a conscious decision on the part of Sean Baker to separate, do a little Mulholland Drive thing. This is the fantasy, here's real life. Real life fucking sucks, obviously. The fantasy's pretty cool. You're with this impressionable young woman, which is what he wants. He wants something to control. Yeah. Because he doesn't have any control of his situation.
And he needs to control her.
Yeah, so Strawberry's not real. And that's all in his head. Which would be...
That's a very generous reading.
Yes, you don't need an artist to confirm anything. He definitely never will. I would love for that to be the kind of accepted canon by most people, because if not, I don't like this movie. And if so, I think it's clever.
I think it's yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think when you brought that up, I actually read that in the midst of watching the movie, and I thought it was a pretty smart read on it, even if it's not true. Here's why I think that theory should hold water. That last scene, which is essentially
surreal,
it's cribbing from the last scene of Carrie, where they shot it in reverse and she's walking backwards to Carrie's house. And then they're playing Bye 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 backwards, and the camera tracks down her body. It feels like Simon Rex's character, who we haven't said yet. What's his name? Mikey.
I don't know. Mikey Saber.
Mikey Saber. It was some dick pun. Yeah. Mikey Saber XXX.
I love that shot of his website with 2 asses in his
Yeah.
face. You're like knocking his glasses out of place and stuff. It's so funny.
I feel like this film wants us to believe that Mikey has, in some way, she's like, she almost feels too Manic Pixie Dream Girl to really exist.
It's
like
what this kind of guy would cook up in his mind.
Like in 2005, we have what Tangerine in
2005.
No, not Tangerine. Tangerine's the character in. Oh no, that's not her name. In
Ramona Flowers.
No, even though that's a really good example. No, the Jim Carrey movie.
I have no idea.
Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
Isn't that her name, Tangerine?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
And I just watched that a couple.
So did I. So did I at the Alamo. There was with her character. It's so blatantly that.
Yeah.
But even that character feels like a character.
She has motivations and she's like written and stuff.
Yeah, and like Ramona Flowers.
What does Strawberry want? You know,
Strawberry wants to fuck Simon Rex,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a major problem.
And probably become a porn star.
Maybe
that's all I can think of.
But also wants some aspect of monogamy with Simon Rex.
Yeah,
which she's
gonna get a rude awakening once they show up in porn town.
Well, I mean, it's so interesting the way that X frames what I can assume is probably some version of ethical non-monogamy, even if it's not named that, is so kind of loving and sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you can control who you love.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
choose who you love, but if you are a person that needs non-monogamy in some kind of way, it's not connected to whether or not you love this person or not.
They're also at that hippie turning point in
Yeah.
the 70s. They say it. Brittany Snow, I think, says
Yes.
it. She's like, well, why are you still abiding by these outdated, conservative Christian values of sex and how sex should be spent and stuff.
And then she goes into like, oh, we don't care if he's black or white.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just an excuse for you to fucking hate.
Right.
I that movie has such a sensitive portrayal of non-monogamy, and this one, whether it's because Mikey's supposed to be a piece of shit.
Well, he's lying to her.
Yeah,
It's
he's
very
lying
well
to
established.
he's lying to everybody.
He's lying to everybody.
He's lying to everybody.
He's playing even the person that it's not. No, it's fine. He's playing even the person that you think he's the most himself with, right?
Yeah.
Like there's an honesty to how he talks to Strawberry, and then you remember that she doesn't know where he lives. She doesn't know what his actual long game is with her, you know?
I mean, he's essentially and then by knowing about Strawberry, we get a peek into how we actually get a peek into what he actually probably did with Lexi, his first wife, which is he spends the whole movie talking shit about her. Oh, she abandoned me. Oh, we went to the industry together, and she got bought off of me.
And then when he's with her, it's a two-faced thing where it's like, I've always loved you, and I'm back here, and we're going to be a family again.
And then
I want to say one thing. I love scumbag protagonists.
Me too.
I will always prefer, like, a protagonist that's totally just a piece of shit, who maybe arcs, or their arc is that they never arc and they're always the same, like Alex DeLarge in A Clockwork Orange,
or even John Constantine in the comics, like just a piece of shit.
I think a main character who is super capable and can handle everything with ease and stuff, like it's just not as interesting. I like seeing someone kind of flounder and struggle.
Well, it's what the Safdies do so well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's making these characters that are morally more than morally gray. They're like morally muddy.
Yeah.
But also gets you on board with these people because they're so propulsive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's like, well, watching one of those is like, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do? Like, he's a scumbag, but like watching James Bond, it's like, oh, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
He's
it's
capable.
the truth. No, but I think the thing that the Safdies get that this movie misses is the Safdies always know that their protagonists are bad guys.
Of course,
They always know.
Well, I think Sean Baker knows. I think he just revels a little bit too much in the degenerate nature of
that's a better way of putting it. And I think when the Safdies have their characters, which they always do something unsavory. Like when Howard essentially gets
all that money,
and bets all of it, or gives the money to Julia, putting her life in danger, knocks her smoothie into her face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The movie frames it as this guy's a terrible person. Fucking great movie, dude. But I think this movie is like I think if this movie was, I think if Sean Baker shot Uncut Gems, it would be a lot of like, wow, Julia's hot, huh?
Yeah.
Which Uncut Gems does, but it's also like Julia might be the most human character in Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Like she's one of the most well developed characters in that script. And
it is so weird because there seems to be that turning point where it's like Mikey's going to get and he kind of does get his comeuppance. I mean, they take everything he's earned unethically, and they kind of he's running down the street naked. And I mean, I think that usage of "bye bye bye" is pretty cool because you only hear it in its like non-covered, like non-altered version when he's at his most vulnerable, which is on the bus going home to see Brie Elrod, and also when he's naked running through the street.
It's kind of like
the regular "bye bye."
It's kind of like the sound of silence in The Graduate. Hello, darkness, my old
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
It only comes in when
cool.
he's in a terrible place.
Dude, there's shit in this movie that I think is so well thought out.
There's a
so
lot
well
of
crafted.
there's a lot of shit that's great, and I think
It's that one aspect like crushes.
but that aspect of the movie rips open the movie.
Yeah.
Like if you pull Strawberry out of the movie, it's not the same movie anymore. And I think it would have been something as simple as. Well, I think it could have been a few things. It could have been aging Strawberry up so that she's in her 20s. It's still weird, but it's ethical at least.
It's that, and,
you know what I mean?
Or when she's at that age, don't shoot it like it's porn. Like just as simple as that. Just don't shoot them fucking on the rock and her moaning and the camera zoom and stuff. You know.
Well, here's the thing that I almost wrote on Letterboxd, but I didn't. But I think this character is an abuser. This character is a character that Strawberry later in her life, if she survives, which I hope, in this fictional universe she does.
Yeah, this would be what
and goes.
her
I mean, I know girls now. And I knew girls in high school that were 16, 17, dating 32-year-old men.
Yes.
And like
a lot of my friends in high school.
I knew a lot a girls like that. I even knew some guys that were.
A girl I dated in high school, her ex before me was in his 30s and had a kid.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, I knew a girl that I was dating in high school, and also one of my good friends now in high school has a story like that in the reverse.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is, a lot of people have this story, and Strawberry is going to grow up and go, man, when I was 17, like a 35-year-old man,
bum ass 35-year-old whose skin looked like leather. Sorry, Simon. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's spent a lot of time in the
tanning,
the sun
yeah.
and tanning booths and stuff. Non sequitur. He took advantage of my youth and my naivete and tried to, profit off of my work in a degenerate industry.
And there's a sense that she understands that towards the end because, when he tries to record the video, she says, let it be my phone, which suggests that she understands
He's gonna do something
what
with
he's
it.
trying to do with it. But also, and maybe the point is that I keep calling him Simon, that Mikey never faces any real consequences. And if that is the point of the movie...
I think he kind of does.
I feel like...
if she's
like
real, if Strawberry's real,
yes.
how is he even going to get her out of there anymore, right?
That's
and
true.
That would probably be the moment where she's like, oh, wait, you were lying about where you lived, you were lying about the money you had, like, all of this was a lie. Because you're showing up there naked, broke,
Or is he still naked? No, he has pants on.
Does he?
Yeah, he has pants. No, he goes back. He goes back home and he puts on some clothes. Right, but he has a trash bag full of his clothes.
Yeah. I love that scene where he's. Apparently, that was ad-libbed, where he's like, "See, I'm folding my shirts, taking his time." She goes, "Oh, you should work at the Gap." Brie Elrod is so underrated. She's so fun.
I fucking love the black family that are protecting.
1, 2, 3. She's like right outside the door.
She's like, why don't you sell some of your fuck trophies? Such good non-actors.
When she's talking about the porn awards, and she's like, "So you got an award for the face fucking?" And or like he's explaining it to her. She's like, "Seems like the girl's the one doing the work." He's like, "No. See, when I'm face fucking, I'm guiding her and stuff like that's such a funny scene."
I don't know. I really dig. I really dig the acting in this movie. I think it's so natural. I think
really
it's
like
so.
The first act a lot. It's a really great first
The minute he meets Strawberry, I texted Dan
apart.
and I said, "Dan, he's going to fuck this child this out," and he does.
He does it.
And I don't want to make light of which is why we're not calling it.
I don't think we are making light.
No. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to flagrantly use like even the word pedophile because that refers to something completely different than what this is. But like. It is disturbing to me, and I think it's a disturbing trend where directors... I'm not saying directors should never portray this experience. Right. It's weird that it's mostly men.
And as an adult, when you're watching something like this, you don't need the movie to have flashing lights and this is wrong. I mean, you can deduce that
there's this great film that was the first of the Marielle Heller movies, like Diary of a Teenage Girl or something like that, where she is being taken advantage of by a man that her father is dating, played by my boy... Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay.
And that movie is written and directed by a woman, and it feels different.
Yeah.
It just feels different. Like it's something.
It feels less pornographic.
It feels less pornographic. It feels much more dangerous. It feels much more sad that this older man needs to be with this younger girl to feel something, you know, and I just
there is like a slight aura of sadness to what Mikey's doing, because he literally day to day does not have shit to do. He like latches on to that one guy who's going to go to the mall and like pretend he was in the army to like get women to go out with him, or we don't know what the plan is there, but he's doing like the stolen valor thing that you see on YouTube a lot, like stolen valor compilations where they approach people who are lying about being in the army. I don't really get why that's in the movie, but it goes to show Mikey doesn't have shit going on.
And Mikey is such a I keep bringing up Connie because he's the closest character I can think of. The way that Mikey discards
He's
people.
California Connie.
Yeah, I mean,
Connie is New York Mikey.
You remember when Connie, who I'm sure is a Mets fan, goes up to that girl that he forces himself on, and it's like, I have a feeling that our destinies are linked. Or that
exactly what like a child would take as like a sign.
And then immediately he abandons her and she gets
I'm gonna go take a shit in that guy's house.
He abandons her. But
watches her get arrested and they both say nothing. Just turn to a review. Good time.
Fucking Pattinson, dude.
He's the best.
Fucking Pattinson,
He's
dude.
The best.
Oh my god, what a good actor.
Yeah, I love Pattinson.
But Mikey has a very similar ethos.
Check out our Batman review.
Check out the Batman review. Man, we should have fucking.
Where half of us shit on Pattinson and half of us like.
We should have did fucking High Life for Batman, dude.
What did we do with it?
Nothing. We should have did High Life. Anyway, we'll find a way when Claire Denis' new movie comes out this summer. Then we'll fucking put High Life with that.
I love that movie.
No, but so I mean, I guess the way Mikey picks up people and discards them, I also really thought was interesting.
Yeah.
The way that he says, "I don't fucking know you." Tell him I don't fucking know you, and the guy listens. Like he respects Mikey so much.
That's crazy. I forgot about that scene. Yeah, he's responsible for that pile up on the freeway.
Mikey is, yeah,
and then takes off and lets that guy take the fall. and that guy's life is so sad that he thinks he's defending his only friend, not even realizing that Mikey that's brilliant. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that Mikey
and then Mikey's like, yeah, fuck yeah, and then they zoom in and they zoom in.
No, there's parts of this I think genius.
I think honestly, Dan, you're the only one who's going to agree with me about this. I love a good 70s zoom. I love a good
whip zoom.
Yeah, they have a great one where she calls him a suitcase
pimp, really good,
and it zooms into her mouth.
So I brought this up earlier during that Asa Akira Q&A. Like I said, this is a lot of the dialogue here is true to how porn stars talk and stuff.
Yeah,
suitcase pimp. That's like the worst thing you can be called.
Yeah,
as a porn star.
And he's like, what'd you call me? She goes, suitcase pimp.
And it's really close on her mouth. Yeah. Asa Akira said that was like the most shocking part of the movie, that you'd hear that in like a mainstream movie. That's very just like how porn stars talk.
It's so interesting. I mean, I guess wrapping up, I am of two minds about this movie.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's a lot of great stuff in it.
I think depending on who I show this to, I mean, they could either just go along with that shit that I find really repulsive, or they could be like, yo, stop this movie, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, what are we watching?
And like...
Is he gonna molest her? Like, what's going on?
And he does. For me, it's like, it's almost indivorceable from the great filmmaking and acting. You can't divorce it from what it's doing, what it's accomplishing. Like, I think what it's accomplishing is 4 gratuitous sex scenes with a minor. You know what I mean?
A very minor coded person.
Yeah,
too.
she looks
like
a little
those
girl.
Teens on Euphoria where it's kind of different because they look kind of like adults. Like Strawberry looks very small.
It's still weird in Euphoria, but it's forgivable because we know those women are 30 years old. We know. You know what I mean? Like, there's a sense of, like,
I don't think they cast them because they look like Lex to me kind of looks young.
Yeah.
But Strawberry looks like a baby.
I mean, it would be like a Maud Apatow type. Like, if they put Maud Apatow... No, if they put Maud Apatow in this movie, we would have had the same reaction. It's the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think
the Strawberry actress has got to be, like, what, 4'9"?
She's really small. She's tiny.
Tiny.
And she looks like... I mean, this is probably why she was cast. She looks like young women who get put in the porn industry at 18. Mm-hmm. And when they do
Perry.
They look really tiny. And I understand if that's part of the ethos of the movie, like that's what it's criticizing. But then don't shoot scenes with a 17-year-old allegedly she's supposed to be hot. Like,
there's an interesting story. She wasn't even an actress.
Yeah,
he met her in line for like a concert or something.
Yeah.
The woman who plays Brie Elrod's mom, he met outside of a porta potty.
Really?
Outside of like some like place where she had just gotten fired. She had just lost her job. She was at a porta potty, and Sean Baker had seen her from across the street and went over to wait for her to stop shitting. to cast her as the mom of Brielle.
She's really good.
She's really great, yeah.
So there's only really 2 name actors in this.
Brie and
Simon Rex.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It is kind of cool production.
I don't know how to rate this because it's like the stuff that's good here is so good, but it's in service of something that makes me feel yucky. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, and I'm sure Sean
not
Baker.
Yucky in a cool horror movie way.
No,
yucky.
Like,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everything that X does ethically, which is crazy to say because it's a slasher movie, and slasher movies are considered to be like the pits of these kinds of films. I guess, even though. We cannot get into it.
I feel like slasher movies don't really morally offend you because it's still at the end of the day is kind of good and evil, you know? Like most, you know who's good and who's evil, the person who's doing the killing.
The crazy thing is also, like, Carol Clover talks about the fact that, like, people believe, and she wrote this in the 90s, she's like, people believe that if you want to know what's going on in America, you go to the stuff that's winning Oscars. Yeah. She was like, that's not what you do. You go to the body pictures. She calls them body pictures, the blood pictures. Mm-hmm. She's like, you go to the lowest form of art because that's what's happening in America. And I think
it really was one rung above porn.
Yeah, dude. And I don't know. There's something about X that is scratched.
Siskel and Ebert always wrote them off,
except for Halloween.
They called them
dead. Didn't they call them dead teenager pics?
Yeah, something like that. But like, look at the review for The Evil Dead. It's on YouTube. Like a 1981 Siskel and Ebert like TV recording of like the review of The Evil Dead. They're like, the screen runs red with the blood of children and animals and stuff. It's like, dude, did you watch it?
Yeah.
There's no kids, there's no animals. Like, what are you talking about?
Evil Dead's also just a bit smarter than the average slasher movie.
But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of the time critics would write the shit off without even watching it. Yeah. I feel like in that instance, Ebert and Siskel were kind of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly were. And then they did it a lot. They did it a lot. You know, there's a statue for Robert Ebert.
What?
There's a statue for Roger Ebert.
Where?
I forget, but he has a
like
statue.
Him.
I like him a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dead, but
I'm not happy. I know he had jaw cancer. I'm not happy about. It's part of a larger like how people regard that stuff.
So did oh man, the very famous Pauline Kael did it as well. I mean, but I think the thing about X that I really enjoyed was
Siskel spoiled the first Friday the 13th. Not to interrupt you. Siskel spoiled the first Friday the 13th to get people to not see it. Back when he was a columnist.
That's the worst.
Or a reviewer for like Chicago Sun or something.
The fucking worst.
It's like the killer is so and so, and she lives it. He gave like her real address and shit. Betsy Palmer.
The thing I like about X that I'll put over Red Rocket is I think X feels like something you shouldn't be watching. The way we talk about it, feels mean spirited.
Okay, yeah.
Feels a little bit like
if you're a kid, that's like you don't let your parents know you're watching.
Feels a little transgressive.
Sure.
But it feels that way in a way that's trying to actually get at something. It's trying to get at something that's like, hey, what are these movies actually about? Like, why are slashers exist? They exist because they want us to think about sexual anxiety.
Yeah, it's also not a crime to just be fun.
Yeah, and we're talking about a very like upper brain. It's like it's a fucking fun movie, and I think the thing that it has over Red Rocket.
It's awesome.
The thing it has over Red Rocket for me is like I never question what I'm watching.
The ethics of the filmmaking.
Yeah, I'm always like, fuck.
And I don't want to shit on Sean Baker. Like, I don't know what went wrong here. Maybe the idea was to not shoot it like porn, and then they're there on the day, and they're like, how else do we shoot it? Maybe that's how it happened.
Could have stayed on their faces.
It doesn't seem like those shots took a lot of prep, so maybe he's just like, yeah, we're here, this is run and gun filmmaking, okay, well, you're going to fuck on that rock, and when they're watching it back, it looked like porn, and it was too late to go back and change it? That's all I can think of. That's a lot of credit on their part, I guess.
Or...
God knows I would not have shot it the way they shot it.
I may not have even had sex scenes in it.
No.
If I'm being real with you. If the girl's supposed to be 17, we can assume what's happening.
I would have never made her 16 or 17 or in high school.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you gotta be judging Mikey is the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to rate this one personally. I don't know how I would rate it. Yeah.
I gave it 2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
So did I.
And the reason for that is because I like half of it. I don't like the other half.
I gave it 2.5 for Simon Rex and the filmmaking. But the other, I mean, it cancels itself out. It's like everything you like about it is
and it is an interesting case, isn't it? It's so weird because I feel like it's another polarizing film. I talked with a friend about it a week ago, and she was like, well, the attention to and the fact that they cast like a real ex-porn star and the attention to the industry and how it chews you up and spits you out and stuff, like it's also interesting. And I just kept bringing up the strawberry thing.
Yeah.
And she just kept being like, well, I don't know, like, you know, she's having sex already, and it's like, it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's too weird.
Yeah. I don't know. It actually, the only time I felt this uncomfortable about something like this was...
People talking about Licorice Pizza, like, dude, this is, like... I think it's just that people didn't really see this, like, maybe it just didn't do that well.
Yeah. I'm surprised that... I mean, Licorice Pizza has a similar moral question, but even Licorice Pizza, I don't think, has a moment of consummation.
You never see them fuck.
Yeah, they're not fucking.
Not at all.
The closest we get is...
Did they kiss?
They kiss at the end.
At the very end.
Yeah, which is what people are getting upset about. And I think there's a conversation to be had about that. But I think
this making as much money as that, the outcry. I think that's what it is. There's just not as big of a controversy because it didn't make as much money.
I do think I would kick one of the Oscar nominees for Best Actor out for Simon Rex.
Maybe Brie Elrod too. I think she's great.
I think they're both good. Let me actually fucking look up. We're gonna have an Oscars episode very soon.
I don't know who the nominees are.
I don't either. We're gonna have to learn it next week.
This year.
So the best actors are going to Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog, Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, Will Smith for King Richard, and Denzel Washington. Wow. I would cut out Javier Bardem and slip in Simon Rex.
I didn't see that.
It's not a good movie.
King Richard movie. I didn't see that.
Oh, I didn't see it either.
I still didn't see Tick Tick Boom, so I don't know.
Andrew Garfield's pretty solid in that.
That being the Ricardos was apparently like awful.
It's not good.
Yeah,
I would put Simon Rex in there, and
definitely not screenplay.
Definitely not screenplay. Not screenplay. I mean, maybe cinematography.
Maybe the first half of the screenplay. Maybe the first third of the screenplay.
Maybe there should be an award for first half of the screenplay.
There's great jokes. There's laugh out loud funny.
There's a lot of funny jokes.
You know?
The way he's talking to her, it's really good. Well, all right. So thank you for doing this this porn episode with us, guys. We'll be back next week with either a review of Everything or Everywhere or an Oscar special. One of those will definitely be happening.
So that's it. Keep watching porn.
Keep watching porn. And if you want to watch more porn, go on the Media Morgue.
That's behind the Patreon.
Well, you guys will never know unless you join our Patreon. Listen. All right. Stay gorgeous, guys. Goodbye.